Okay, so for this video, we're going to talk about how to use the debugger window so that you can figure out what these values need to be. So this works for both the line follower and the potentiometer. It works for really anything. And it makes it a lot easier to figure out and troubleshoot your program so that you can understand how to better control it in the environment that you're in. Okay. Now, in order for this to work, you have to have placeholder numbers because the program has to run. So I'm going to go to download to robot because I have my test bed plugged into my computer. And when I hit start, I need to go into the debugger window. And so down here at the bottom is my debugger window. If you don't have your debugger window, you can go to robot debugger window and you can select motors or sensors or both of them. So I have motors and sensors selected, and down here I've got my tabs. And so this tab is dedicated to motors, and you can see my power is all 0 because none of my motors are on. And then my sensors tab, you can see that right now I've got my potentiometer plugged in and it's reading about 1500. And if I turn the potentiometer, I can increase it or decrease it based off of the position in real life. Now, what I'm focusing on specifically is the line follower. And if I look at my code, I have until dark at 1000. So remember, it's opposite of what you think. So it's actually lightness. So until the dark goes away, I need to start the claw motor. And then until light goes away, which means it's covered, I need to figure out what these two values are supposed to be. So until dark goes away, which means it's uncovered, I need to figure out what that value is. And so right now, uncovered, it's about 3000. So I'm going to change that to 3000. And then I need to know what it is when I cover it. And so if I put my finger over it, you can see that it drops down to about 600. Okay. Well, 2000 is more than enough. I could actually make it 1000. It just depends on how sensitive you want this to be. But it's not going to update until you re-download it to your robot. So if you change values, it doesn't take effect until you re-download it. So I'm re-downloading it. I'm going to hit start, and we'll see if my code moves. So you can see that I'm running through it. Now with my motors, right now nothing's on. I cover it, it's negative 60 for 1 second, then it turns off, and then now it's going to be 60 for 1 second and then turns off again. So this is really handy for understanding how to troubleshoot any issues you may have and checking for motors. So if you know that a motor is supposed to be on, you can check this debugger window to see, is it actually turning on, or is there something as far as like a hardware issue? So this is how you debug, use the debugger window, and this is how you go about finding these values that you need in order for this to work.